Hey guys, welcome back and thanks a lot for clicking on my latest video. I'm John and today we're going to be taking a look at display stands for your, action figures and stuff. Yeah, because we all like to put them on display and make cool things look even cooler. So I've got a variety of stands here. Well, one of the first ones we're going to look at here, we got some characters to help us out and I'll be pulling in a few more from off the side. And we got a cupcake stand, a 3-tiered cupcake stand. So you could actually put figures in front of this. Then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 platforms to use for figures. So, but they call it a 3-tiered cupcake stand because it's got 3 levels on it. And this particular cupcake stand comes from Amazon. Well, a company sells it off of Amazon. I think so it works, but it's really inexpensive. I'll put the link in the description below. And yeah, my dad found this for me really cheap. He got 2 of them for one low price. They come like this. There's 3 platforms in the package, and then all the hardware. You get a screwdriver to help you put it together and an Allen wrench to tighten up the ones that go in between here. It's a simple construction. You can see there's tubes there holding it up, but it makes it really solid. You know, it's not flopping around. It's a really solid piece. And now we'll get into what you can kind of do with it. So I think it works best for 5-inch and below, because you could have He-Man figures such as this and still see most of your figure, you know. If you're looking from slightly above or straight on, you're still going to see most of your action figure. When you get into things that are taller than that, like some you know, you're going to start blocking depending on what you put behind it. I mean, I guess it's not too bad for 6-inch either. She's not going to stand up. But you obviously can't put a smaller figure behind her or she is going to disappear. So, I don't know. I tend to use this kind of thing for 5-inch and smaller myself. I don't go with a 6-inch figure on them, but I guess that's just the way I look at things. 3 3/4-inch figures. We know we got BA, we got Mad Murdock there. I think they work great on this sort of thing. Even mixing it up with a Toy Biz Marvel, you can still see the characters that are behind him, you know. So I like this thing a lot for this size of figure. Star Trek, look how good that looks. Got everybody's favorite Ferengi and Morn hanging out up there. Works really nice for those kind of things, I think. Star Wars figures. I mean, of course, the smaller ones you want to put up front. But I mean, you can see straight through with our Star Wars figures what's, you know, no problem at all, you know. Really nice. Yeah, I just like this kind of stand for displaying. You know, you could do your, I mean, look, you could put, how many can you put down here? You could do like 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 8, maybe 10 figures in front on each level if you're doing Star Wars. At least 8 on each level, you know, so you can get a good chunk of your figures on just 2 of these. And it would look really nice. And let's just say you had a variety of figures that you wanted to display all in a big mess. You know, you didn't want to do it by series or buy whatever, you just want to have a display of various figures set up, this is something you could do with this display stand. And every character is visible and really nicely shown off, from a 2-inch figure all the way up to a 6-inch figure. You've got them on this display stand, and every single one of them can be viewed and seen in a fantastic way. It's a really nice display stand. They call these cupcake stands, cupcake displays, things like that. So if you're looking for something like this, look for a cupcake display, cupcake stand, and that's what they call these 3-tiered. You can get them 2-tiered, 3-tiered. I think they go all the way up to 5. But yeah, you want to look for a cupcake stand. Cupcake rack, cupcake display stand, something like that. The next ones to look at, now you can get 6 of these. So you get some this size, you get some in an intermediate size, and you get these really big ones. And you get 6 of these for one low price. Again, on Amazon. I'll put the link below in the description. These are things that are less than $15. So we're going for less than $15 on here. And these tiered stands can really be used for a lot of things, because you can actually sort of stack them up in different ways. And I think these big ones work really good for 6-inch figures, because you got a lot of space between your 2 figures to show them off. I think that works really well. They're great for He-Man, Masters of the Universe, because you're going to show off almost the whole character because of how tall these displays are. So that's what I kind of like. That's what, like the cupcake one, I feel like you're losing, you know, more than half the figure here, you know, on those. But then when you get to these larger ones, they're almost to the character's waist on the stand itself. So you're going to see more of your character if they're back to front, you know, something big's blocking them up front. And that's kind of why I like these for that. And then they also work for your, for like Star Wars and stuff, you know, they almost go the whole height of the character. So you're really going to see all of both of your characters if you want to do it that way, you know. Which is one way that I have done it in one of my cases. You know, I'll show you at the end of the video. We'll go through some of my displays that I've set up using things like this. But the advantage, and then you have these little ones, which I like for smaller figures, you know, because you can kind of just highlight them if you've got a couple of regular guys alongside it, you know. You can sort of highlight a smaller guy in the middle, and I think that works out well. These little ones are just used to prop small things up, and it's kind of I haven't used them yet in my display anywhere, but that's the idea anyway. And they're big and square, so they can hold. I mean, you can kind of get, yeah, like 4 figures up here, so you could do like a whole thing like that and have, you know, other characters around it down below. Get in your face, man, you know. So there's definitely uses for this shorter kind of display stand thing, you know. And like I said, they also work as tiering up on this, so if you do want a character in the background a little bit taller, you can do that, you know, and have these guys in front, you know. So you can kind of make sure everyone can be seen, even someone further back in your display cabinet, you know. Like you could have him further back towards the back and still be seen against those that are up front, you know. Pretty cool. So yeah, with a tiered effect like that, you know, you've got one of the small ones down here, the two large ones together, and a small one up there highlighting Vader and the Stormtroopers. You can kind of get a different tiered effect than the Cupcake Stand and show off figures in a different way. And it looks really nice, you know? It looks really cool all set up like that. Now I'm going to go in for a couple of things that won't break the bank. I'm also going to put a link to Daiso in the description below, because Sean Solo 8 said that he found a lot of really good display materials at Daiso for around $1 to $1.50, $2, that range, for each item. And so Daiso, if you've got a Daiso in your area, or I don't know if Daiso delivers, but that might be something to check out. But I'll put a link to Daiso in the description below. And on Sean Solo's recommendation, I would say head on over to Daiso if you've got one in your area and look for really cheap display materials. Because that's what we're going into right now, is for the inexpensive, for the really cheap stuff, things that were not intended. I think some of this stuff that I have here were not intended to be display pieces, but they work for me and they're really cheap. First off, you've got these candle holders. They're supposed to go this way. You're supposed to put a candle in them. They're at the dollar store, and you get 4 of them for $1. So to me, they work really good. You can display a character like that and put a couple of larger size characters around it and still get to see them. So I like these things. For $1, you can't go wrong getting 4 of them for $1. They do have a perfectly flat top here, so it's not like it's rounded or weird shaped or indented. It's just a perfectly flat top to be able to use for any, I mean, you could use it for a Star Trek figure, and it'd be, just get them a little bit elevated in that. If you just want one in the background elevated a little bit, you can kind of do that, and it works really well. So for me, that's a super cheap way to get something just a little bit higher than normal. And then the other thing we have are these picture cubes. They're photo cubes. I'll show you some examples here on Amazon. Here's what the cubes look like if you see them in a store online, so you know what you're looking for. They're basically 4 1/4 inches by 4 1/4 inches square. Now the photo cubes, they basically just come apart. Yeah, so they do. This always happens to me. I always forget. There we go. So they just slide apart. They're designed to slide apart so that you can take there's like a cardboard cube in here, but you'd put a photo on each side and put the cardboard cube back in to hold it up, and slide this back together and put it on your office desk as a cube with a photo on each side. But for us, and I'm not going to be able to get it open again, for us, these work great as display stands. And to me, they're really cool because you get 4 of them. You can do something similar like this. You can have figures here, 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 down there in front. Figures can even tuck under it if you need them to, because they're, you know, they're tall. They're as tall as, they're almost as tall as a 3.75 inch Star Wars figure. So, you know, they work really good to show off every single Star Wars figure if you stack them up. If you want to do that, you know, which I have done in my Star Wars cabinet, to show off from foot to head everything about your 3.75 inch figures. They work out really well. I'm a big fan of these cubes because they're so cheap, and you get 2 displays per cube, and then you can stack them up in so many different ways to make it work out for your figures, that I just love them so much. And it's my favorite thing to use for Black Series figures, again, because you get to see the whole figure, you know. Let's get Vader and them out of the way, and we'll put the girls back up. But you get to see most of the figure, you know, like Moira here is like totally visible with her standing in front of it. You know, it's amazing. I just like these stands so much for Black Series and stuff. And a lot of times, like if you've got a Billy bookshelf like that, you know, you're dealing with heights that are this big, and when you're putting your figures in, you know, you've got room to go deep, you know, to go back, you know, because those shelves are 8 to 10 inches deep, you know, but you know, they're also this high, you know, so it's like I need to use the space above more than the space going back. So what you can do is you can put one of these behind them, and then you're utilizing all the space available in the bookshelf, you know. So it's pretty cool. I really like that. So that's my favorite thing to use for a 6-inch figure like Marvel Legends, Star Wars, Black Series, you know, Power Rangers, Lightning Collection, stuff like that. It also works really well for your Star Trek and your, you know, Marvel 5-inch stuff. 4 to 5-inch figures work really well on it. You can even put a little guy in once in a while, like this Mr. Man, and they still are visible compared, you know, with all these big guys blocking the way or whatever. Pretty cool. Use them in combination with something like this, and you can get a, you know, a couple of big characters back here. She's not going to stand up now, is she? Moira. And then you can put R2-D2 up there. See? And he's not blocked. Good use for the candle holder. I know, she's not perfectly standing up here. Anal. Alright. Yeah, you get the idea, right? Alright, let's build a display with these. There we go. We got a nice mixed display using the picture frame cubes and the candle holders from Dollar Tree. And you can basically see every single character using these, tiering them up and using these kind of display things. This would actually fit right in a D12 on one shelf. You know, you could easily make this work in a number of different you know, bookcases and shelf units, D12s from IKEA, things like that. Really cool stuff. Now, I don't usually mix them all up. I got a mixture of figures here because I wanted variety of sizes to show you how these things worked out with different sizes. I'll show you some display cabinets here that I have, and how I've been using some of these materials to build up displays. Now, the cupcake holders are the newest ones that I received, so I actually have not put them in a display yet, but everything else I've used in displays, and I can showcase here and give you a few examples of what I do and how I use these things for displays. So first up here, I've got my mask display, and I actually used a doll holder from, I don't know where I got it, like Michael's or Joann's, and it's a doll display that's supposed to stand upright, but I laid it down because I like the way the Rhino gets high up there above it. And we've got some of the cubes, the picture frame cubes, holding up various packaging and things like that, just to elevate it above the toys. I really like this one. It's a cool display. Did the same thing with aerators. I used the cubes to elevate the packaging so that you can show them, you know, with the figures in front. You know, you got the figures and vehicles up front, and then the packaging for those behind, and I'm using those cubes, just one part of the cube, to hold them up. Same with the packaged figures, just a few other random guys over there. And then I have one of the cubes upside down, holding as a display to keep the Hawkwind in the air, you know. Pretty neat. And then up here I took advantage of the cubes and the candle holders. So like this Yoda is standing on a candle holder there, and the cubes have all the vintage figures standing above it, and there's a couple more candle holders mixed in down here, with elevating some of the Yodas, so that I can use the depth of this display, of this shelf, and things in the back can be higher than the stuff in the front, but you don't want them too high. You just want them like a figure higher, you know. And then here in the Star Wars display, I've used the cubes and made 3 tiers. So I've tiered it so that I can have 3 levels of characters, basically is what I mean. So there's 2 levels of cubes there. And to give me 3 tiers of figures. For this Centurions display, I've used the smaller of the store-bought intentional ones, and then the cubes for the the picture cubes, to give me a variety of heights to show off all the characters in the Centurions. And here I've elevated the packaging for some of the Battlestar Galactica figures, and then because the cubes are so deep, you can actually put figures in front of the packaging as well as down below, and give you this nice looking display in a detolf. And then this is the store-bought one of the risers, not the picture cube, one of the regular risers, holding the Robotech figure up and showing off, the Robotech packaging in the same display as the vehicle. And then I've used cubes again in these displays just to elevate some of the characters. And since the cubes are so tall, I was able to hide a lot of the demons in there, because this was a set where you got a demon with every figure, and you get overrun with demons in your display, so I just tucked a bunch underneath. And then for the mini bots for Transformers, it works really well because the whole mini bot can be shown below and above. And then I also was able to put Metroplex on the higher part of the platform so that you can get 2 city titans and all the mini bots in one spot. Well guys, I think that'll do it for the displays. I hope this video was informative for you. I know it's running kind of long, but I hope you don't mind that, because I hope it's informative. Gives you some ideas. Links for all of this stuff will be in the description below. And let's see, what else do I want to say? I guess that's it. I'll have links for everything in the description below, so you can purchase it off Amazon, and you can check out Daiso at Sean's recommendation there. And which is a really good idea. I mean, they had some really nice stuff that Sean was showing off. Maybe Sean should do a video of his own to show off what he got from Daiso, because it's some really good stuff and for really inexpensive prices. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope this was helpful. Leave me a comment below. Are you going to use any of these products? Are you going to check them out? And if you got something different, if you have a different idea for how to make risers for displays, especially cheap and inexpensive ones, we want to hear it. So please put that in the comments as well and let us know. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.